Find out how 14 and 15-year-olds can get employed at one of the biggest restaurants in the world. So if your 14 or 15-year-old is like annoying you, maybe you could send them off to work. Or if you're watching and you're 14 or 15 years old, hey, you can now get a job. The breaking news regarding August unemployment and jobs report, the good and the bad, and the great news of one state sending out a fourth stimulus check of $1,000. We covered one earlier that was $600. This one's $1,000 this week to leave unemployment for a new job. So they'll pay you to go get a job right now. So it's different than the stimulus check we talked about in California for $600. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday, this hump day. You're ready for the rest of the week. Here's your unemployment update. My goal in these videos is to give you the best information to access government and private money for yourself, loved ones, and your business. Stay tuned to the channel for personal finance videos, business videos, real estate, stock market, crypto, and other investments to generate you income and save you loads of money. But first, in the amazing town of Medford in the great state of Oregon, where I just was doing an Ironman, a local McDonald's put up a banner that reads, now hiring 14 and 15-year-olds. Yep, it's not a spoof, it's not a mistake, it's not an oops, it's not a typo. The restaurant operator Heather Coleman explained, quote, staff has been this bad in her family's 4 decades of operating McDonald's franchise. There are always staffing issues, but this is unheard of, end quote. She also stated, quote, 14 and 15-year-old workers have been a blessing in disguise. They have the drive and the work ethic. They get the technology. They catch on really quickly. She continued, quote, once managers open the floodgates to young teens, well, we received 25 applications in 2 weeks, which is quite phenomenal. As you all know, I've been working since I was a young kid, 12 years old to be exact, if you must know. So it's great to see that major company like McDonald's opening their doors at 14 and 15 years old to employees. Of course, I had to start my own business at 12 because nobody's hiring there. Even though labor laws, actually, you can start working at 12 years old. Except there are so many restrictions, like you can only work like 3 or 4 hours. They put a lot of them in during the Great Depression when kids were basically working in factories, and a lot of them got hurt. So they put those laws in place, but they're kind of outdated now. They need to be revamped. So if you know anybody in Washington, revamp those laws. Meanwhile, with the month of September officially underway, the good folks over at ADP released their private payroll jobs report for the month of August early this morning. Unfortunately, private payroll increased by 374,000 in August, which is well below the Dow Jones estimates of 600,000. So the bad news is, well, the Dow Jones got it wrong. But that's not all bad news. On the brighter side, these figures were above July's 326,000 job gains, displaying that hundreds of thousands of Americans are making the switch from unemployment to a new source of income, job, and or career. Mark Zandi, who we talked about a lot on this channel, chief economist at Moody's Analyst, states, quote, job growth remains strong, but we're off the pace of recent months. Job growth remains in. While I'd love to see more jobs added to the U.S. economy every month, hopefully we can add at least 500,000 new employment situations during the month of September. Set that as a goal, as our personal goal on the channel, is to get that number up there. Finally, we've got some amazing news from the great state of Connecticut. A fourth stimulus check for $1,000 is being offered to citizens across the Nutmeg State that are exiting unemployment and finding new employment in jobs across Connecticut. Beautiful state. Using the state disaster relief funds, eligible applicants coming off long-term unemployment will receive a $1,000 check after certifying 8 weeks back in the workforce. So you can't just get a job, get approved, work 1 week, show them your check, and you're getting your $1,000. You have to stick around for 2 months. Even better, these $1,000 disaster relief unemployment checks are set to begin hitting bank accounts this week for people that have been hired. Governor Ned Lamont states, quote, many workers who were displaced during the early months of the pandemic and face long-term unemployment are now transitioning back into the workplace and workforce and starting to rebuild. He also continued, quote, this one-time bonus payment will help some of these workers pay for the critical things they need to get back to work, including childcare. This is the latest tool in the toolbox to maximize our state's recovery from the pandemic, end quote. Well said. A lot of states need to put this out there just because they're going to have gaps between unemployment and employment, and those will need to be filled. What better than a bonus for somebody getting a job? This is great news for all my viewers in Connecticut. Hope other states will fall in line, shape up, and do the right thing. And make sure you check out the link below if you're in Connecticut to find out about how to apply for this incredible $1,000 unemployment benefit for a fourth check. Just hit in the description, not in the comments. A lot of the comments where people pretend to be me are not me. I'm shaded with a check. That sounds bad. You're shady, Andrew. No, my Andrew Cartwright is shaded with a check mark. So make sure you check that out. That's me talking to you guys. If it's somebody with a no shading and no check, it's probably not me. If you still haven't applied for unemployment assistance, get over the hump today. Apply today and just get over it. Just get in the system. Check out the PUA and the UI website. Show them your employment history. You might have to use your cell phone to use facial recognition to get through the system. A lot of them are using that so that you are genuinely who you are, because there's been so much fraud. Just be genuine as possible, and to the best of your ability, answer those questions. They're not trying to trick you. For being honest and truthful and answering some questions, you could receive a backdated check for $20,000. So for the gap of employment, this is not make it up and pretend like you were not working when you were. This is you weren't working and you need the money because you used your savings. If you're a gig worker, self-employed, you're an independent contractor, you got a side hustle, you're a freelancer, the PUA, a completely separate program they set up for you guys. So please keep sharing your experience if you get through on the PUA with people, because a lot of people are still wondering if that's really a thing, believe it or not, after over a year. So make sure you share your unemployment benefit in your state, as well as be safe out there. Say the state you're in and the experience you're having. And by doing that, you enter to win $2,000. Also, check out my Rick James, a couple of the creators from the Rick James documentary dropping on Showtime. I had in the studio on the second channel, so make sure you check that out in the link that I'll provide right after this. So take care. Thanks.